Welcome to the Carousel. I am John Musum. With me, I have Scotticus.
Hey.
And I have Jake, the Z.
Hello, gentlemen.
That really wasn't clever of me.
It wasn't great.
It was a little stilted. I thought you were just going to introduce us both and go.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just clicking on too much stuff. Actually, correction from the intro of the last show real quick. Last time I said every Monday at 8. That was a complete lie. What I meant was every other Monday at 8 p.m. Central. We will stream this at our Twitch, twitch.tv/Carousel Podcast. But without further ado, Jake, I hear you've been clicking on things.
I have succumbed. One of the guys over at the TVGP forums, I believe it was Babahawk, I saw him pop up on my Steam list, or my friends list, that he was playing Adventure Capitalist, which is, it is just a clicker. It's not even a fun one.
Selling point right there.
Well, it's really just watching numbers go up, and somehow it still got me. I mean, granted, one of these was leaving the computer on for a day or two. I had 45 hours played on this thing before I killed it.
Oh, no.
I've had it like a week.
Yeah,
and I've done...
Every time I have logged on to Steam, I have seen you on it, and I just assumed it was some weird, quirky indie game, and little did I know it was,
No, it is just a clicker, and the craziest thing about it is you really only click stuff for probably the first 10 or 12 times, because what you do is you hire quote-unquote managers, and they click the button for you. So, really, you're just hitting the button to buy more once, it lights up, and... Well, the thing is, sort of the cool hook is, like, the stuff you buy is, donut shops or hockey teams. It seems very Canadian, because one of the managers for the donut shop is, like, Tim Horton or something. So once you build these up, and you get, like, I don't know, it goes off of how much money you've amassed over the course of your existence in this game. You can basically trade it all in for these called angel investors, which then, like, each one you have gives a 2% increase to your profits on all your stuff. That's about it. So you're just resetting this thing every 6 to 8 hours and just watching the numbers go up again.
God.
So let's rewind for a little bit for some of the people who may not know, if they don't listen to a ton of video game podcasts. What is a clicker?
It is, the best way to bring yourself into this hell, if you so choose, is to look up Cookie Clicker, and that's sort of the kind of the easiest to get into. But basically, you are just clicking a box on a screen and just watching the numbers go up. And when you get more of a number, you buy another thing that gives you more numbers per second. And it could be cookies, or it could be, I think, candy. There was a candy seller one.
So it's not even a management game.
No, you're just buying more of stuff. But there's something in the lizard part of my brain that just likes watching the numbers roll up, and it's horrible. So that's enough for that, because I actually found another game that was sort of a clicker, but actually was interesting. It's on the App Store. I believe you... Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. It's on the App Store, so it's not Diablo 3.
Well, I just said it had a story. Diablo 3, not so much.
I got to agree.
It might be on Android as well. I don't have one, so I wouldn't know. It's 99 cents, and it's called A Dark Room. And I don't want to get too much into it, because it's sort of this weird ambient kind of, you figure it out as you go, because they're very subtle about the storytelling. It's kind of like a clicker, because you're watching numbers go up and stuff like that, and you have builders and stuff that'll convert resources to other resources. But then you can go out, like it's sort of this post-apocalyptic thing, at least I think. So you can actually go out into this wasteland, and it's all ASCII art. Like, it's all just, like, your character is the @ symbol. I don't know what we call that. Just the A with the circle around it. Like, it's all text.
Its proper name is a circa.
Okay. Yeah, you're one of those.
That's
and you're
it?
just you're sort of going around these hashtags and there's T's that stand for trees and like it sounds so dumb, but it's very cool. There's a lot of like sort of random encounters, and you'll have to I don't know, punch a wolf until it dies or something. And it's very basic. You just do that by tapping punch on one side, and then you have food that you have to take out with you, and that'll heal you, and you tap that on the other side. But sort of just going out and collecting stuff and coming back, it was a lot better than Adventure Capitalist, and it's a dumb thing you can do while you're watching Netflix, which is by and large what I did all week.
So this is like the art description of it just makes me think of like roguelike.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's a great way to describe it.
Quick question for you, Jake. Is that made by Dragon Studio by chance?
Or
do you happen to
in
know?
the App Store here.
Oh,
it was
no,
made
found
by
it. That is it. It's text.
Emirali Rajan.
Yep, Darkroom Android is a role-playing text-based game.
Yeah.
So I think I just found it, and apparently on Android it's free. What the hell's that about?
So, funny story. Parkour Cannibal in the chat mentioned a dark room, and I didn't know what it was just now, so I Googled it. And I came to a website and found what their next comment is the free browser version, though.
Oh.
Because evidently, instead of doing this cast, I'm going to start playing this game.
Oh, no.
I don't...
Well, if you're going to do that, fuck you. I'm going to go get some coffee.
No, honestly, okay, so this is a clicker. It's literally just feeding me, like, a sentence of a story, and I hit a button to stoke fire. Okay, what?
You're going to have to turn this off and
I
come
did.
back to it after the cast. But yeah, it's...
Well, I thought it would turn into, like, Zork or something like that. Like, oh, maybe I just run and browse around. And
I love how both of you are now just describing this as like the most engaging piece of shit ever.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a piece of shit. I mean, if it didn't have all the story elements and sort of the exploring stuff, it would be a piece of shit. But as it stands, it's the choice to go, I don't even know if you call that low res, but to go with the ASCII art was a choice they made on purpose. And what's cool is after you beat it, there's actually a bunch of like a Portal-style commentary, like a Valve-style commentary. The creators, it's a 2-guy team, recorded a bunch of sort of their thoughts on the game and making it and stuff like that. There's like 25 MP3s built into the program after you beat the game talking about it, which I thought was cool.
That is actually pretty cool.
Man.
There you go. Check it out.
It just makes me think of Progress Quest. Have you guys ever gone to Progress Quest?
I'm afraid of it by its very name.
Was that the one that was on Steam where you're working your way through the history of video games?
Oh, no. It is a browser thing. I don't want to call it a game. And actually, I want to double check to make sure I remember the right one. So, Progress Quest is this thing where you just select a bunch of stats, and basically it just plays the game for you. It literally just does a loading thing. He's like, okay, your hero goes and does this and this and this.
Jesus, look at these spreadsheets.
It's,
Oh my god, no.
actually, this thing looks a lot different than I remember it.
This is awful.
Maybe I'm thinking of the loading thing. Like, there's something where you literally just... Oh, well, I don't know. It doesn't
This looks
matter.
like a text-based version of EVE Online.
Oh God.
Where it's a big screen full of lines and data that's segmented into separate frames.
Oh Jesus,
Ugh.
is this? Oh, it's okay. I just looked it up on Wikipedia. The character sheet, is that the bullshit I'm looking at? Strength, Constitution, Dex, and all that.
Yeah, it's changed
Oh,
evidently
good
since
God.
the last time I looked at it. Or maybe it was
I-
always like that and I'm remembering something completely different.
Well, you probably just got into some other part of it you didn't know was there because
I don't
I'm
know.
looking at it and I refuse to be a part of this.
You basically set a bunch of stuff up and click start, and then you can just leave your browser open and do nothing and let your brain melt away as you're depressed and
Well, maybe
probably
it's-
don't want to keep any sharp objects or anything you can choke on nearby.
Maybe there's some Frog Fractions level shit there where, like, if you play the boring part long enough, it becomes something interesting.
Oh, man.
But clearly my time is too valuable for something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody's time is too valuable for something like that.
So,
Why does this exist?
Speaking of where all of my time has pretty much gone the last couple weeks, I have been dancing all night with Persona 4 on the Vita.
I need you to explain this game and possibly the entire series to me. I've never played it. I hear you guys talk about it on Pup all the time. It's sort of an anime-looking thing, but that's the only thing I know.
Okay, so the basis, Persona obviously is a franchise. It is a sub-franchise under Shin Megami Tensei. Some people would argue that it is a separate franchise from Shin Megami Tensei because of kanji, like the Japanese lettering, not the character in the game.
Jesus.
But the problem is they use so many of the same art assets that I think they're full of shit and they are the same franchise. But Persona's, the basis of Persona is you're always a set of high school students. It's kind of like a demonic Pokemon. Like, the basis of Shin Megami Tensei is you're going around recruiting demons, except these demons are Loki and Vishnu and Incubus and like
Steve.
Like these
Oh,
Japanese.
fucking
They do have Alice from Alice in Wonderland occasionally. That's
The spooky EA version.
And she will shank your ass.
You know, she may as well be the spooky EA version, but I mean, all these are like Japanese anime interpretation versions, right?
So spooky-ish.
Like if you look up Incubus, he has a giant horn for a cock.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a
Why?
lot of
I didn't know about that.
there's a lot of phallic and nudity stuff in here. Like the fan favorite to mention for people to go look up that's not work safe is Mara, which is a giant penis with a cherry head.
Hold on.
All right.
I'm gonna hurt my own brain for this. Persona Mara, M-A-R-A.
Yeah.
You're not
Okay.
really selling me on this. I got to be honest, Jeff.
So
Dick demons.
Not all of them are like. There's tits too.
Oh, what the hell?
There are. It's so happy looking, isn't it?
Oh no!
But there are
That's not a smile.
there are plenty of nudity on both, but that's beside the point. Beside
And
the
the
point.
way they did the front wheels, it also looks kind of like an old funny car dragster.
So,
Oh, this is not okay.
so the basis of Persona is instead of demons, they are aspects of your personality, and you summon them to fight shadows. Shadows are always this enigmatic thing, and kind of what they're after and what they're doing changes per game. The game's stories do not relate to one another except in the facet of they take place in the same world, and they have kids who are summoning personas. Starting with Persona 3, you probably didn't think you were going to get this much info, but
Oh, I knew what
you
I was
asked
asking
it.
for.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we both knew.
Starting with Persona 3, they added a high school simulator on top of it.
Oh no!
So you have to...
Hold on. The penis chariot dragster that you fight evil with is now involved in simulating high school.
It's, it's an allegory.
Okay. Now I think I understand a little bit more about John and why he plays this game.
Oh, God, why did I look up Mara? Jesus. What the? This is some Dark Souls shit right here, man. This is straight out of Dark Souls 2.
It's so funny. I actually want to like hug you and go, "It's okay," through a microphone, right? It's like, no, don't.
He doesn't need spikes on the front of his chariot. It's a scaly dick with tentacles. Like, you were good, man.
And a sandworm mouth. Did you notice
got
that
teeth!
bullshit? Yeah, this is not okay.
It's got dick teeth.
Ah.
All right, keep going.
Okay. So, again, Mara's the worst offender. No, most
clearly.
of them are not quite that bad.
And is this a good guy?
That's a guy you can summon, yeah. Like, to give you a picture, like, they have a Pokemon level... Well, okay, maybe not Pokemon
Poke
level.
with a
Oh wow.
P-O-K-E-Y.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank God someone else can also be willing to make that joke and draw the same reaction out of John.
It got slick in here.
Oh.
So, gosh, how can we weasel our way out of this?
No, you're done for this one, man. This is all on you.
Explain, how does this dancing come into it?
Okay, right. So I was talking about Persona 3 and 4, right? Persona 4 was so popular and the characters were so popular that they did all these spin-off like genre mixes, right? So
Because everybody loves a dick chariot.
they mixed it in. The Dick Chariot is not in Persona Dancing.
Thank God.
And honestly, the Dick Chariot is not the easiest thing to get in Persona 4, so
Thank
you may
God.
not even see it.
Oh, jokes. Okay, anyway, please continue.
So, Persona 4, Dancing All Night. The story basis is really dumb, and I kind of love it for how dumb it is. But one of the characters in Persona 4 was an idol. Like, her whole storyline was she got tired of people not accepting her for being her, and kind of had to come to terms with what it meant to be an idol and how to handle fans and things like that. Like,
As in pop idol, rock idol, or do you mean actually like what Indiana Jones steals?
No, she
They-
just sits around a lot. She's very idle.
Japanese teen idol. Like, are you familiar with the whole idol thing in Japan?
Not personally, no.
Uh,
But I get the basic idea.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with it to really speak on it very well, but it seems like a lot of teenage to early 20s girls become idols, which are basically like pop stars, but not as big.
are we talking kind of a Hannah Montana thing?
Yes.
Okay.
In Japan, evidently has tons of them, so it's a big thing over there,
Okay.
right? So, Persona 4, Dancing All Night, takes place after Persona 4, and the idol character of the game, Rosette, wants you guys to be backup dancers for her comeback as an idol.
Okay.
So that's the start point. When you get there, it turns out there is a website that people watch at midnight if they go to, and some dead idol will show up, and then they'll either die or be put into the TV or something like that. Put into the shadow world.
That old story. That old
yeah,
gem.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
It's Ring You meets no. But so that's kind of where the big story kicks off, and from there you know obviously you get sucked in pretty quick, and it turns out this version of the Shadow World.
So it's still traditional gameplay, though, right?
Well, I mean it's dancing gameplay.
So it is a Parappa the Rapper kind of thing.
Here's the thing: I've never played another rhythm game before, aside from like Dance Central and a little bit of Dance Revolution.
So does this use the Kinect or something?
No, this is on Vita. It is like playing Dance Revolution with.
You're just
controller.
tapping face buttons and then left, right.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So kind of how they steer the screen, and it took me some adjusting too, because it's not that I've ever played before. Like, the video is going to go how the video goes no matter what, but it's going to have objects that are going to the sides of the screen that are related to the buttons that they're next to, right? So you have up, left, and down for your left side, and then you have, triangle, circle, and X for your right side. And you just got to kind of time it right, and it doesn't actually affect what's happening on screen. It just affects whether you continue the song and whether you beat the level that is the song. If that makes any sense.
Are you... Okay. So is it kind of like an adventure thing where you just have to have a dance-off with all the bad guys, or are you performing on stage at every level? I'm wondering how demon cocks or the lack thereof get worked into it.
Oh, no. Demon cocks are reserved for Persona 4 and Persona 3. Persona Dancing All Night, the shadows are typically just in the background. Like, what happens is, like, the story mode is a big, I don't know, we'll say 6-hour visual novel where every half hour you dance. And the dancing
Every
is,
half hour?
yeah. There's
Whoa.
a lot of story. But they also have a free dance mode, too, so you can avoid all that. But, like, when you wind up dancing to fight shadows, it's always we're trapped in a room, they won't let us use our personas like we're used to, but we will show them our emotions through dance, and that will cure the shadows,
Okay.
so to speak.
You're having a dance-off with every guy you come up against.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
There are occasional stages involved. It's a game that I don't think someone who's not into the Persona 4 characters should play.
It doesn't seem like a great entry point.
No.
And I'm just making dick jokes all over this thing, man.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, I've already done a few.
Oh, God.
Wait, dick jokes, that is. Oh, God. Phrasing. This one's your fault, John.
It's my fault.
Totally. I mean, seriously, I didn't need to know about drag racing, crime fighting, dick chariot, demons.
I got nothing here.
Did we need that much setup, and did we have to go there? Let alone the fact that you're talking about how much dong is in the Persona games, which I did not know.
There are so many, like, you were like, did it have to go there? And so that's one pun. And then you said there's so much dong in, and I thought, oh God, what's he going to say? And then you said Persona games, and I was like, thank God.
So speaking of this, did you have anything else on there? Because Mara looking like sort of a half chariot mech thing, kind of would makes him look like a transformer.
I see where you're going. Like, okay, fine. I will accept your devastation. Yeah, I picked up the Persona Transformers Devastation. That would be pretty epic.
Well, they can't do it now. Shia LaBeouf's in jail.
No. I hate
Wait,
Shia
what?
LaBeouf. Because that's what he says in every fucking Persona.
He was-
No. I mean, like, he's in jail?
Yeah, he was being drunk and belligerent, and he was giving the cops shit, so they arrested him for jaywalking because he wouldn't listen to them.
Well, it's on him for being, well, not following
An asshole.
basic
Yep.
instructions. Yeah. Okay, so, yes, not person. God damn it. Transformers thing.
Okay. So Transformers I've only put an hour into. And this is going to be pretty much my theme with most of what I've participated in tonight. If you're a 80s Transformers fan, you will probably enjoy playing this game. If you're not an 80s Transformers fan, then you probably won't care at all.
Is this, for a while, now I've skipped most of these because I was never a huge Transformers fan when I was a kid, and the first couple of games they put out were like multiplayer-only battle arena things. Is this another one of those?
One, you are incorrect. Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron had multiplayer in them, but they both had 6 to 8 hour single-player campaigns.
Okay.
Actually,
and then
War
the
for
other
Cybertron
Transformers,
was the one you and I both liked, wasn't it?
I like both of them. I think Fall of Cybertron's a little bit better than War.
Which one was the one that you and I both liked, though? Because I actually almost got it, which is really saying a lot for me in relation to really any Transformers stuff. It's just not my thing.
I probably made you play War for Cybertron.
Whichever one you could turn into a Tron tank.
I don't remember.
I think it was War. I think it was War for Cybertron.
Like, you got to understand, those two games are like Halo 1 to Halo 2, you know?
Yeah, true.
There's not a huge, like, they're incremental changes that all have kind of the same elements. It's just the second one has a little bit more.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm derailing this anyway from what it's supposed to be. So yeah.
Oh, no problem. And like, also there was another Transformers Armada game for GameCube, and that was entirely single player. But
So is this more kind of the same sort of strafey, shooty, drivey stuff?
this is
Because I've never played them. I'm pulling this all from screenshots.
right. This is mainly a brawler where you occasionally transform. You can transform whenever you want, but most of the time you're going to be in a combat arena doing combos, and you'll have a quick time event. I say that. It's not really a quick time event. It's a press L1 now to do special damage type thing, you know?
Okay.
It's generally like they have a set amount of combos that you can kind of equip and level up and stuff. And whenever you execute a combo, you're presented with an opportunity to transform and do an extra hit or two on them
Okay.
before continuing on.
Now this is... Am I seeing these right? Is this cel-shaded?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. It looks almost 100% like the old cartoon, and I figured out how they got away with it, too. The latest Hasbro toy line is called the Combiner Wars, and all of the visual themes from the Combiner Wars are G1 style. So that's how they managed to do this. Like, Bumblebee's in it and looks like the old school Bumblebee, even though he doesn't transform quite into a Volkswagen Bug. He transforms into something else. But, like, Megatron
Yeah, actually...
looks...
These...
Sorry, go on.
these look like Transformers I would recognize if I knew any of their names.
Yeah, they got all the
Really?
voice actors they could for it too. The guy who plays Starscream is dead, so they just got a guy kind of doing impersonation of him.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I like that guy actually.
He had a
Well, he's-
distinct style.
Well, he was Cobra Commander too, wasn't he?
Yep,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
and I can tell this new guy ain't him. So,
Looks like there's like a kind of intense loot system too. Am I seeing this right?
yes.
Okay.
I haven't dug into it as much, but you're presented with these points where you can switch out which Autobot you're using. I think there's something like 6 of them you can use. Like you find a fuck ton of weapons in the game, and they're all like done up like the old school weapons you'd find. Like Prime starts with his melee weapon being his energy axe thing that he had in the cartoons, and
And anytime you equip a new one, the old one just gets lost in the couch.
that'd be a nice touch. Well, may as well be, because that's how the level up system works in a way, because you literally sacrifice a weapon to assign XP to a weapon.
Oh, okay.
I think you get XP for kills too, but again, like I'm only being about an hour into this game, and I hear it's about 5 hours long, 5 or 6 hours.
That's what Kotaku's saying.
There's not like a whole ton I can derive from that. Like aesthetically, this thing's on point. Gameplay wise, it's fun. If you've played another Platinum game, then you kind of know what to expect in a way, because people have been comparing it to Bayonetta, but I would compare it closer to Mad World or Anarchy Reigns, somewhere along those lines.
Oh wait, Mad World. Okay.
Is that who made this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That is not who I would have expected.
Yeah. But it's one of those deals where like Platinum games are hard if you aren't using all the tools they give you. But if you sit down and learn all the tools they give you, then it really isn't hard. Which is kind of where this Transformers game is at
Well,
so far with me.
I got to tell you right now, I kind of like the sounds of that.
I mean, but they did add the slowdown time. People keep saying that it's Bayonetta because they added the slowdown dodge and time slows down thing. But
Meh.
I mean, Platinum's pretty big on the time slowing down thing. Period. It's in like half of their games.
I was
I
going
was
to
gonna
say, but I
they-
mean,
they did it in Vanquish. Well,
Yep.
sort of the opposite.
well, there's also the fact that do we really want to say, oh, that's such a Bayonetta thing when it's really a Matrix thing?
Well, I don't. Well,
I mean, really, who do they want to blame it on? And
You're-
does it matter at this point? We're almost decades plural onto that at this
well,
point.
you're really switching mediums when you're talking that because it's.
Well, yeah, but
I mean,
still.
game. It's a.
But
fun
I'm talking in terms of the concept because no one bothered with really doing a bullet time thing until we saw it in the movie and somebody went, that would make an awesome video game thing, and there you went.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an example where they did it, and yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we saw. Although it's entirely possible that the systems didn't have enough hardware capability to be able to handle that until the generation after Matrix came out. But
Yeah.
that's academic, I suppose.
I mean, and honestly, I would argue too. A lot of the way most games have figured out how to use slowdown time is to make up for kind of the incompetency of their other systems. Because I mean, like look at basically any game that has it in it. It is in it because you can't play it the other way and do as well. I mean,
Sniper
Red Dead's-
Elite.
For instance, Red Dead's aiming was fucking terrible, but
Oof.
you enabled that Deadeye, and suddenly it was more palatable.
Even
see-
with the pop, like the pop right to him aiming, it was still rough. And Rockstar's never been good at aiming ever.
I would actually cite at least one game where the bullet time stunt actually wasn't really making up for failures, and that would actually be, I think it was the Sniper Elite franchise, and instead they were basically making you relish in the anguish of you successfully killing a target.
Or shooting him in the balls. Yeah.
Yeah. Wherever you shoot the target, it will then go into a bullet time thing, and a later version did X-ray of the bullet breaking bones and piercing organs.
Exploding testicles.
Pretty
I have
much,
it.
yeah. The original trailer for it actually had like the bullet going through a commander's neck. He's like like an idiot, popped out of the top of a Kampfpanzer tank in the Afrika Corps and just right through. And they did full bullet time for that shit. And it was like painful. And then I guess Max Payne too.
Painful. I get it.
Oh wow, that was accidental.
Well, and Max Payne was interesting because it came out around the Matrix time, so that would have been the game that you were talking about, Scott. Where I mean, not specifically, but that would have been the game at that time that was made because the Matrix existed.
Right? They went,
Yep.
oh my god.
It was out in late 2001 or sort of mid 2001. So you get a little lead time on that in between. Matrix came out early '99. So yeah, that's
Something like
feasible.
that, yeah.
Although not the way Rockstar develops games. They probably started building that back in '84. But
That is true. That is true. Anyway, I don't like Transformers as a game. I really want to reserve judgment for, and when I put a bit more time in it.
Well, I like the sounds of it so far.
It's I like it. It's got a great style. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. The soundtrack is this fucking '80s metal.
you got the touch.
It's dude. Like, take away the vocals, and it's just like it could be the soundtrack for the '80s movie, to a degree. Except when it goes into menus, it turns into this kind of dubstep hybrid type thing. But
Oh, weird.
I don't know. I really, really, really like the soundtrack a lot.
Is that why you were talking about doing a dubstep version on Twitter? What was that song? The Plains of Africa or something?
Toto,
Rains-
Africa.
Toto. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Is that where you got that from?
No, I was just thinking that'd be awesome to do.
Okay. Well, that'll be in the next one then.
I refuse to engineer that one.
You see, it's me and dubstep. I play it off like I'm in on the joke with everyone, but I fucking love dubstep. But anyway,
Sick drops.
yeah. Man, give me those wubs. Bakamono in chat says, "You sure dubstep wasn't inspired by the '80s transforming sound?"
Whoop, 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 whoop.
And are you sure that's not
out of the question?
exact reason why I love that style? Because it sounds like anyway.
Could be.
Anyway, whatever. I don't know. I don't have a segue. Share the shit out of us. The Rob Zombie out of us.
Oh, I went to sort of against my better judgment. My cousin asked me if I wanted to go see Rob Zombie with her. And I don't love Rob Zombie. He's fine. I liked him, back in '98 or whatever. And I don't hate him, but I don't ever listen to him. So I was like, well, okay, I'm not, super raring to go, but I'll, it'll be a good thing to do with my cousins. We don't get a lot of time to go out together because, married, kids, all that kind of stuff. So I thought, this would be good. Well, one of my cousins dropped out. So my other one brought a friend of hers. And in the meantime, a couple days before we're supposed to go to this thing, I go and go and check it out on the website, and it's got 3 haunted houses in there that you go through before the show actually starts. And they're all Rob Zombie themed. It's called Rob Zombie's American Nightmare. And I am a super puss when it comes to haunted houses. I have not been in one for 15 years because I hate being jump scared. When I was 10, I had to go through the emergency exit of one because I was crying too much.
Holy shit.
The one time before that, I went in a haunted house, I think I was 4, and my dad was trying to hand me over the walls to whatever terrible thing was on the other side. And when I got out, I kissed the ground, literally kissed the ground. I did not expect this to be up my alley. It was real cool. There's a lot of real big real Rob Zombie-ish props, 20, 25 feet tall that are sort of when you're waiting to get in, they'll be hanging out and around the line or whatever. There were sort of 3 discrete sections. I thought it was going to be 3 separate lines, but they just give you this card, because when you get there, you have to sort of finish your registration stuff, and they give you a T-shirt depending on how much you paid to get in, whatever. They give you this little credit card, and they scan that to let you in, and then they take it from you. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just going in this first one then. But no, they just run you through all 3 of them straight through, and the first thing they do is they put a black hood on you, and throw you into a pitch black maze that you're just
What?
bumping into walls and shit. Yeah, there's nobody really fucking with you. It's being terrified and in the dark. So what you have to do is sort of, we've all done it in video games, Zelda or a maze or whatever. If you want to get to the end, you just hug the left wall and keep following the left wall. Eventually you'll get to the end, So that's kind of what you have to do. And, it's probably 5-10 minutes of this thing. And there's this weird part where, like, it feels like you're being birthed because they have this weird mushy, like, satin that mashes down on you that you have to, like, sort of force your way through. But the rest of that, it's plywood. It's just matte black plywood. And so you have to kind of keep your hand on the wall as you go through, because otherwise you're going to walk face first into a wall. So they thought about that, and probably 3/4 through it, my cousin got electrocuted because they set up the wall to shock you.
Oh, fuckers.
Shit.
So that was cool. I mean, it was sort of uneventful aside from that stuff, but it really was. That was the scariest part of just the whole experience. And then you go through like his 3D haunted house thing. You put 3D glasses on, and there's shit painted on the walls and stuff. And it's your super lusty carnival stuff that you expect out of Rob Zombie.
I'm all right with
just,
that part.
Yeah, people making sex jokes and half-clothed girls in clown makeup kind of stuff. Like,
Did they make you feel like you were in a small town? Because it very much seems like Rob Zombie's afraid of small towns.
well, they do in the next one, because you go through. I was calling it House of a Thousand Corpses. It's actually called Devil's Rejects on the website, and I would encourage people to go check it out. I think it's. You do a Google search for Rob Zombie American Nightmare Illinois, you'll find it. It's just they got some cool videos and stuff to give you an idea. But the next one is House of a Thousand Corpses, and they sort of did like a mock-up of the front of the house that you walk by, and there's like a cop car and a cop like pretending to shoot into the house and stuff before you go in. And it was, it was exactly what you'd expect walking through House of a Thousand Corpses to be. What got me is the level of detail and just sort of the density of the props that he put into this thing. I mean, there's piles of trash everywhere. Like a broken TV is just sitting on the ground. Like, it's just so dense, and there's people hiding around corners that are like getting tortured. And of course, the second you walk by, they'll scream, and I don't know how these girls scream for 2.5, 3 hours at the top of their lungs like that. But God bless them for the $3.50 an hour they're probably getting. And then the last one was, I forget what he called it, but it's supposedly, this haunted house back in 1978. Everyone disappeared after Halloween, and it was never opened until now. And it's just sort of, more crazy Rob Zombie shit. So he was actually... The concerts were only that weekend, but they're open on the weekends all the way through November 1st, I think it is. So if it seems up your alley, check it out. You won't get to see Rob Zombie. He was playing the Friday and Sunday of the weekend that I went. Insane Clown Posse and POD were on Saturday night.
Ooh.
What? What?
Oh, continue, please.
So that was... Yeah, I mean, it's just... I don't think it's super expensive because you're not paying for a concert as well, but...
So, real quick. So, was POD opening for Insane Clown Posse?
I don't know what the order was. Oh, I will tell you. Go ahead.
Because I feel like that would be appropriate punishment for them for existing.
Well, I don't know if they're still doing this, but a couple of years ago, didn't Insane Clown Posse sort of do a 180 and say that they were all preaching the good word of Jesus?
Oh, that was a troll, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I thought
if
I
it
heard
was,
that too, but I think they were still I think they said that they were always Christian.
that's what they said. They were like, "No, we meant this the whole time," and I thought they're just fucking trolling everybody, like you said, Scott. But now they're touring with POD, who's another like Christian rock rap whatever bullshit band.
Yeah, but I would say it like this. I mean, how many people did they interview for the movie Borat whom took him completely seriously? Right down to politicians. I mean, they went the extra fucking mile for just a movie. These guys are making money, by all of this, and I mean, the bullshit that they've done to people and encouraged their fans to do to people. There's no way I'm ever going to believe that they're actually going, hey, we're really, Christian, unless they want to admit that they are the modern Christian.
Well,
but that turns into a personal opinion argument, and I'm going to actually halt that, right there.
Good move. I will say this: they are good at creating personae. So yeah, you.
Personas. Oh my God, we should have done that first and given John a segue. Damn it.
So, lastly, when I got to my car,
If you guys have enough money to give me a Segway, then you should buy me a new computer.
Ooh.
Oh man.
So when I got to my car,
you're not getting any love on that, John. Yeah, car. Sorry.
Everyone had sort of in between the window and sort of the weather stripping. Everyone had this shit sticking out of there, and which you get it almost any time you go to these. It was 2 pairs of tickets for shows coming up in Milwaukee. One which I missed was for Guar, and the other one was for Danzig. So if anybody wants to go to Danzig, let me know. I got 2 tickets.
So if you want a guy that looks like Wolverine to,
He probably
He does not look like Wolverine anymore. Jesus
No,
Christ,
you're right.
that man
He
is
does.
expanded.
that poor guy,
yeah.
he really does look like an uncooked ham with hair.
Have you seen that Photoshop where singers with hot dogs, where they replace all the mics with a hot dog, and they just have this beautiful picture of Danzig, like full gut, just like almost ripping out of his shirt with like a hot dog in the hand, and then like a table full of hot dogs in front of him. It's just like
I actually wouldn't have
hadn't
been
seen that.
surprised if he was one of the clowns in the Rob Zombie thing. Because I mean, he's small enough that he could probably fit in that car pretty easy.
Yeah, well, height-wise, but he's put on the width.
poor
He's just a
Danzig.
sphere now.
Oh God, his equatorial line is definitely expanded.
Oh,
Persona
boy.
Danzig all night.
Oh,
That's our
boy.
title.
Dancing all night. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm typing that right now.
Okay. So you guys are really making me feel like a Martian here.
Yeah.
I haven't been trying to alienate you. I apologize.
Yeah, well, just all the topics just shooting into the atmosphere. So I saw The Martian with
It's not the only thing.
with Matt Damon. I think it's how
Matt
you
Damon.
say his name.
I like the fact that none of us can fucking handle that without going, Matt Damon.
We are guards. Yeah, guards.
I shouldn't even said it honestly because I've never actually seen America. Fuck yeah, whatever that movie's called.
What?
Yeah.
Team America World Police, and I've been saying guards all day because I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 1 for Game Club.
Well, anyway, so The Martian's a good movie, and I didn't read the book, and if you like hard sci-fi, then go see it.
All right, good talk.
Oh,
Yeah, no shit.
it's
Well done. Good night, everybody.
I've really been trying to think all fucking day what the hell to say about this goddamn movie, because it's
I have some questions that will probably push that.
okay. Then how about we start there then?
Okay, number one, having observed Ridley Scott's recent movies and comparing them against earlier stuff, his modern film style really illustrates how he rarely has a lot of actual story or complete dialogue. Is that still a problem here?
Well, I mean, there's not really any action in this movie. So, in
Which
a
is-
fashion, it's all story.
Okay, I'm actually a little more interested in that because I like his cinematography, but the past couple of movies didn't have anywhere near enough actual content apart from staring at a goddamn screen.
I mean, like, yeah, no, this doesn't do any of the things I'd really expect a Survivor movie to do in terms of building tension. And it's surprisingly positive, too.
Which is also different for him. What the hell? Okay.
It's definitely... Well, and that's the other thing. It's like a lot of people have said this is Ridley Scott's return to form, but at the same time, it doesn't like it looks good. Like the things in it look believable enough. I mean, it seems like there's only one point where I really like the CGI.
So can
appeared
you?
like CGI to me? But
this is sort of, I don't know if this is sort of points out that they haven't done a very good job marketing the movie, because I know nothing about it except that it has something to do with Mars. Matt Damon gets left there. Is the premise that we already have a colony there or something? Because you leave them on Mars, like, all right, you got 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically there's a space station on Mars. You have a team of something like 6 astronauts who are there. They have something like, I want to say 6 to 8 months left in their mission. So basically they are out on Mars, something goes wrong, they have to evacuate, Matt Damon gets left behind. Unintentionally. They think he's dead.
Okay. So
Does he
it's
slap
not
his
like-
hands on his face too?
No.
Heh.
No.
We forgot Matt Damon. Okay, so it's sort of he's by himself. He's not in imminent danger, but he's Tom Hanks.
He is, yeah, well, and I haven't...
I mean, I'm sure they bring stuff up that causes him to be in danger, but ostensibly they're leaving this guy behind, going, "All right, we'll pick you back up in 8 months. Sorry, buddy."
No, they don't. They think he's dead.
Basically, from what I saw of the trailer, what I got out of it is that they just went, well, he's fucked now, and they just kind of wrote him off.
They literally think he's dead. Like when they're evacuating, this is within the first 15 minutes of the movie, so it's a very minor spoiler. Basically, a storm's coming, it's coming sooner than it's supposed to, and it's coming harder than it's supposed to.
It is.
They're worried about their rocket's trajectory. No, but
It's not getting better.
basically they have a rocket just sitting there waiting for them to get in and launch, and they're worried about the storm tipping the rocket over and stranding them there. So they decide to walk out in the middle of this storm to get on the rocket, and during that, Matt Damon's character gets hit with a piece of debris, and it destroys his the device on it that has his life signs on it, basically. So
his diagnostic system just got shut down, and they went, oh, well, he's dead. Oh, no.
It's
All the women were the most upset because they lost the pretty one.
You would say that, except all the women seem to have significant others. Like, there's no love story in this.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
This sounds like a story that does not need one and would not be helped by one.
Honestly, this is a weird movie. Like, they don't really touch much at all on the psychological ramifications of being by yourself on an alien planet for 8 months. If anything, like, Matt Damon's character kind of finds ways to enjoy the challenge and is constantly, well, not constantly, but he occasionally makes jokes that are really good, and I don't want to spoil them because I think they're worth seeing the movie for.
Wally rolls by in the background. Turn into a buddy movie.
Well, and I don't even mean jokes like slapstick,
like
you're going to roll on the ground laughing. Jokes like, that's fucking clever and awesome kind of jokes. But the kind of his starting point is, okay, I'm here, they don't know I'm alive, I have no way to communicate with NASA, so what do I do? So, he goes about trying to figure out how to grow food to extend his food supplies. He brings up, like, trying to, how to get more oxygen at the beginning of the game, or at the beginning of the movie. But they
might have made a better game.
They never bring that up again. I hear the book has a lot more of his obstacles he has to go through, but, and they also kind of follow the NASA people back on Earth and a little bit of the crew and kind of what they're doing, and it all kind of rolls into one.
You want to know how Liv Tyler's doing back in Texas?
Nice.
What? I guess I'm missing the reference.
Armageddon.
Yep.
You don't remember that?
What does Armageddon have to do with what we're talking about?
Because they're off in space and they have to cut back home so that you have an emotional connection to these people. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, and the whole thing, they were actually effectively kind of stranded and was expected to possibly be a suicide mission. No, I followed it.
So Steve Buscemi is in this then?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I wish.
No.
Adrift.
Honestly, everyone does. Like, really, the main criticism I would have for the movie is I think it could stand to be a little bit longer and to have a couple more of the science hurdles for him. Like, the general scientific community, their only main issue with the science presented in the movies and the solutions to it are that storm is not how a storm in Mars would be, and I think it was also they show him using dirt, and they film Mars and Arizona, which obviously it wouldn't look like those things necessarily. But
Okay.
it's I think it's a good movie. It does not feel as long as it is. The soundtrack I think was mostly forgettable. Matt Damon
really?
actually pulls off a fairly believable, like you believe that he's figuring these things out for the most part. So you know he pulls that off with a good humor.
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor. I know a lot of people give him shit, but he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah,
He really is.
and like Ridley Scott, if nothing else, the man can make hard sci-fi equipment look like like it's meant to be there, like it's meant to
Yeah.
be used, like it's. I mean, no one can like he makes a fucking DOS prompt look sexy somehow, and I don't know how.
Well, either
It's
he
because-
does or he finds the right person to do that.
Well, probably both. But there is something about the way he does his cinematography that a monochrome screen pops up. Not only does it not look out of place in modern times or the future, but it actually, I think what it is it's sexy because it looks so damned purposeful.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Prometheus was a shit movie that was gorgeous.
Yes.
I think the fucking technology presented in that movie was fucking spot
Oh, yeah.
on.
That was a super polished turd.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
However, I just looked up, Jeff in the chat had mentioned the game Adrift. And I
Adrift with
just
a one.
Yep, and I just looked it up, and that is actually rather pretty looking. I'm going to have to look into that more. It looks interesting. Similar, it's a video game version of the same basic premise as The Martian.
Interesting. Well, either way, The Martian, I recommend. I don't know if I theater recommend it or not. I still think it's a good movie. I'll watch it again.
I'm going to put it this way. I'm going to see it now because of the fact that you just said it did everything that Ridley Scott movies don't do.
Well, and it's science types love The Martian. They love the book. And most of the people who read the book, their main complaint was that it just didn't have enough of the book in it. The main criticism I would have for the movie is you can tell it's based on a book because every time they introduce a new character in the movie, they'll have a name scroll over them and whatever their job is. And it is
Okay.
constant,
I don't hate that.
like it's a good effect, but you realize how many characters are probably in the book that were developed that are on the screen for 2 seconds in the movie, you know? It makes for some weird kind of scenes, like where, I forgot the kid's name. He's from Community. He does music and stand-up. Donald Glover, I think is his name. Because I always get him mixed up with Danny Glover. But,
I'm getting too old for this shit.
yeah. But he's, I think his name is Donald. It's something Glover. Either way.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
looking
him.
up there. Yeah, it's him.
Okay.
Donald
He's in
Glover.
the movie, and he's in the movie for all of 10 minutes. But he has a real distinct character that does things in there that, like, after seeing it, I was like, he probably has a more defined role in the book and was like a fan favorite or something that they decided to include. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to emails and tweets. What do you guys say?
Emails and tweets.
That works.
Okay. First off, we got an email from Ian. Johnny Puns Musum, the King Bee. You're going to have to explain the King Bee to us sometime.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Space Joey Nebs. Scoticus Aurelius Ranticus Autonicus. I said it in one fucking go this time.
That was good.
And to anyone else I missed, I'll get you next time. As always, love the cast, so some questions. 1.
Thank you, sir.
Right on.
What game this holiday is a must-have buy? Parentheses Fallout 4? Question.
Yes, that one. Yep.
It does feel like I read this email earlier today, and I've been thinking all day. I'm like, well, Persona 5's moved out. Like Wasteland 2 is fantastic if you haven't played it, but I mean,
Yeah,
feel like there's
I
one-
need to get that actually.
Bethesda's main house that produces these Fallouts and Elder Scrolls, I don't think those are skippable games. So
Let's see. I'm going to look at what's on the docket for the rest of the year because I feel like we had at least one other one.
well, everyone's excited for Star Wars Battlefront.
Okay, yeah, people
See,
have
I'm
been playing
actually-
that a lot this weekend.
I'm pretty big on that idea personally.
I'm I'm on and off. Like I've just had this epiphany this last year of what a fucking chore multiplayer games really are, and therefore I really only want to play one at a time. So on that end, I really don't want to play anything beyond Warframe multiplayer-wise in terms of a consistent online world that I have to constantly participate and do things in to keep whatever up, you know? Like
I was watching Giant Bomb do the Destiny raid over the weekend, the most recent one, and I started out. You can kind of look at my Twitter and sort of see me lose my optimism. It started out looking real fucking rad, except I was like, there's no way I'm buying this game and then leveling all the way up to 40 and then getting 290 or whatever light to even get into this thing and have a chance, and I'm not doing all that. But it looked cool. Well, then they actually started doing the real raid, and it was just wipes, stand around, everybody come back. Wipes, stand around, everybody come back. And I went, oh, this is why I quit doing all these things. So yeah, I can see why you would not want to have multiple ones of those to sort of feed every week.
Yeah, yeah. And like every single one of them has something that you have to constantly level up. You know, in Warframe, I guess you don't have to constantly level those things up. But Warframe is kind of a collecting things. I mean, that's at the higher levels. That's what you do is you collect shit.
Well, and it's timed stuff that you have to come back every day or every 3 days for, and ugh.
Well, not necessarily, but
I think it's for me. It's the fact that
no, they do have events like that. And Destiny's the same way. They introduce a DLC, and they have time-specific things that happen during that DLC, and then when they go to the next DLC, they retire those events.
Oh, and I sent you the a guy replied to me on Twitter who I don't know, but it was like a real like, hey bro, you can totally bro, and it was such a just typical Destiny, or at least my understanding of sort of the community. It was real kind of, well, very Halo because Bungie. It was like, dude, they give you a thing when you buy it that you can just level up to level 25, and then I looked into it and it was like, yeah, except it's none of the subclasses, so you're basically just nothing.
Yeah. No, they basically did a marketing overhaul on that game, in my opinion. From everything I've heard about it, from what people have said about it, like they've improved some aspects genuinely, but for the most part, the light system is just a fucking marketing overhaul.
Yep.
And that light system is a nightmare.
You know, I will say this: I really did like playing Halo. John knows this. He and I played the shit out of that. But I have had a really hard time giving a shit about Destiny. I liked what I saw initially, but the more ads, the closer we got to it, something felt off, and I didn't get on board for it, and I felt a little left out when it finally launched. And then everything that would have pissed me off in an FPS title started getting brought up, and I went, okay, well, now I don't feel bad. I still wouldn't mind playing it, but I sure as hell would never be interested in spending the kind of money they're trying to get me to spend on it.
Well,
it saved me from having to buy a console. Oh, fuck, I'll just play shit on Steam.
Well, my current attitude on Destiny is, I'm like, the way they're running it now, I may as well just wait a DLC or two and then buy it and then level up super fast. Yeah. And then experience all the new content, and then not play it for a year or two, and then do the same thing again.
Oh, to get back to the email, I remembered what else is coming out. Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I'm excited about, but I get that a lot of people might not be.
Well, is that actually hold on, is that actually due out before the end of the year?
Same day as StarCraft Legacy of the Void, November 10th.
Holy shit.
Here's the thing about Rise of the Tomb Raider, though, is it's only out for Xbox One.
That's fine by me.
Well, and that's... If you have an Xbox One, that's fine. If you don't, then that's an issue.
I am pro boner. I have both. Actually, that's not true. I haven't fired up my Xbone in probably 4 months now, but it is something I'm looking forward to, although I can probably wait to pick that one up. I will be playing so much Fallout. Oh, God, that's November 10th as well. Yeah. Shit, so I'm going to be... Between Fallout and Legacy of the Void, you're going to be both till Christmas.
You're going to be both broke and fucking busy.
Jesus.
Because man, that's a lot. That's a lot of money to throw down at on one day.
It's $100. Because Legacy of the Void, I think usually those come out at $40 for the expansions, if I remember right. Yeah, I don't know. I've already got it pre-ordered. It's already paid for.
And that's why we figure these things out, 6 months in advance Well, that's why they announce them so early, so we can plan our money around them.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
I feel a little like a bad fan because I loved the shit out of the original StarCraft game, and I still haven't played StarCraft 2.
you know,
It's real good, man.
as
I know.
much as I love talking shit about Blizzard around Jake, I do like StarCraft, and I like StarCraft 2. And I need to actually... I keep telling myself I need to go beat StarCraft 2, and every time I do, I reinstall it, and then the thing is I suck at RTSs, and I'm not going to get better.
So
And-
turn it down to easy and just make 1 billion Marines. They do such cool stuff with the level mechanics and that.
Well, the problem is I get to this one very
I
specific...
want the goddamn Valkyrie.
I get to this specific Protoss level where I have to move my base every 5... Like, it's a left-to-right scroll. It's not the lava one.
The Wall of
It's-
Fire. Yeah.
It's the keep going right, and I can't do it fast enough. So,
Maybe take 15 minutes, look it up on YouTube, and just, bull rush through it, set it down to, baby mode, just so you can get to the next level then. I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't have time for that right now.
Oh, and Just
So-
Cause 3 is out. I don't care about it. I know a lot of people do.
Just Cause has never managed to catch my interest either. So yeah,
I'm
I'm actually kind of interested. I am intrigued by the new Star Wars game, although just not sure if I'm going to commit to it. But I like what I've seen so far.
too broke, and I have too many things I haven't played yet. And there's a couple inexpensive games that are like $10. One in particular that I want to play soon.
Well, you've got a dark room. Not a dark room, a dark room. So that's not going to cost you anything, and there goes your next 2 days.
My
So-
mind
there
was
you go.
going everywhere. I was like, is this a Scanner Darkly joke? Is this a Dark Souls joke? What is... Oh, right, that...
Or a photography joke.
The thing you're going back to right after
Yeah.
you're done with the guest. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Honestly, with everything having moved out of the fall lineout, I think Fallout is the can't miss game. But
Absolutely.
I'm liking what I'm seeing for Fallout as well, which is a weird sentence coming from me since the Fallout games have never quite been my thing, but I always respected them, but they never like going, oh, I gotta have that.
well, and
Well,
they're,
here's
they're
the
bringing
thing.
modding to consoles. That's fucking huge.
Well, it's
Yeah.
out this year, but it's not going to work in any capacity until probably March of 2016 because their games never work when they come out.
Well, that is
And
the
then you
benefit to getting them on PC is they're immediately modded. But I
And then you
think
throw in all the trying to mod on console. That thing is fucked.
Well, and they're going to stage the releases on that though. Like I don't even think the mod thing for the original game's going to be out. I think it comes out like the first week of December is the PC one, and then like the next week is the Xbox one, and then like a month later PlayStation gets it or something like that.
It worked great for Batman. Staggering the releases like that.
Is that sarcasm? Like, do they even have
I
Arkham
don't-
Knight out for PC yet?
Did
I
they
still-
fix that?
No, it was out the same day or a week later, and it was so bad they had to just stop. You cannot buy it on Steam anymore. I don't know if it's purchasable now, but it was at least 2.5 months before
Yeah.
it was even close to not being talked about anymore.
Yeah, that was a goddamn mess. I don't know what the fuck happened with that.
Okay, so let's continue on with this email. Second question: what holiday game is going to be a huge disappointment? Please don't say Battlefront.
I don't know. It depends on what kind of glitches they manage to invent for Fallout 4.
That was going to be my answer too. It's
Yeah.
just I am so, and I should know better, and I'm trying not to let myself get super stoked on it, but I am, and so there's a lot of potential for disappointment for that for me.
Well,
I hope I'm wrong.
again, like, are you buying PC or are you getting console?
Don't think I decided yet.
Okay.
I'm not doing a special edition or anything like that, so I can really kind of see which one's better.
That's pretty much where I'm at. Like I saw that. Like I'm not the Fallout fan that a lot of the world appears to be. So they showed that $150 Pip-Boy, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
I have enough. Like, it was a very cool idea, but I'm a guy who pre-ordered, or didn't pre-order, but got the special edition of Batman Arkham Asylum with that super awesome Batarang. It's not super awesome. It's not even really that large. When we were doing the Dead Space game club forever ago, Knobs showed us the the quote-unquote plasma cutter he got with the game, and it was smaller than his hand. Like, I don't need more junk that's just gonna suck. Just give me the game. I'm good.
Yeah.
But you can put your phone in it. Yeah, you can. But who's going out of the house like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, you're gonna go dressed as the other 3 million pre-orders as a Vault Dweller? As one of the easiest Halloween costumes ever created?
Okay, there you go. or you could, like, have a mini-con inside of a Comic-Con with all the people who, decided to dress up as Vault Dwellers because of that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
They're not getting my $50 for it. I'd rather spend it on that, was it Vault 111 hoodie? Oh, that looks awesome.
I haven't seen it, but I already like the sound of it.
It's real good.
I've just recently gotten the hoodies in like the last year. I've like 2 Mass Effect ones and an Assassin's Creed one.
I looked it up the other day because it was tempting me. I think it's like $45 or $50 though. So
Yeah,
I would have bought it at PAX, but I waited till day 4 to go by the merch booth, and they literally just X'd out everything but like 2 items. It was all gone.
So real quick, my honest to God answer to this question is, I don't think Tomb Raider is going to be bad. I don't think Fallout 4 is going to be bad. I think Star Wars Battlefront is going to appease Star Wars fans. If you are not fanatical, if you do not have some level of excitement anytime the word Star Wars is said, I think you will probably find some issues with that game. But if you love Star Wars, I think that game, game's going to be huge. Because
I think it will be huge, but I think that people are going to complain about their idea of how reality was going to be once they got their hands on it.
I don't.
And the reason why I say it is, and the reason why I say it like that is because I've already seen people bitch that you can't just fly the Millennium Falcon all the time. I'm like, well, fucking of course not, because then how many people would try and go load up the Millennium Falcon and fly around in that and that alone?
I don't think those comments are enough to make a game unpopular.
Well, I didn't say unpopular. I'm saying that it'll be still popular, but I think that before the year is out, people are going to express disappointments. Just like I'm concerned about how they're going to handle the smoothness of the multiplayer, because that's a pretty large fucking multiplayer they're aiming for.
Well, that is a good point. Is EA going to EA up their release?
It went great for Battlefield 4.
Oh, man.
They fixed that in like 6 weeks, right? I think people are probably, there's a shot for people to be disappointed with that. Just because and I may be saying this because the beta was just out and it was so limited, I think it's going to be a lot smaller scope than a lot of people are looking for. I don't know that. I don't know why I think that. I just have a hunch.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be hailed. I'm sure Polygon will give it a 9 or a 10 with their wonderfully logical scoring system. And let's continue on.
Yeah.
That was a pop shot, by the way. I actually read Polygon a lot, but anyway, let's not talk shit about gaming news sites for the next half hour because of me. So
it's all just you, man.
Yeah, it is. Question 3. This might be a question more for Scott, but my place of employment, which is a school last summer, received a ransom from, I'm guessing, Russia or the Ukraine. Radiolab recently did a podcast about it. It's a virus program that works like a bot that grabs control of your computer, and if you don't pay in Bitcoin, you don't get your computer back.
Yep.
We ended up not paying and just getting new equipment. They wanted thousands of dollars. Where do you guys see the future of hacking going? It seems like these syndicates are as well-oiled as an actual corporation. Scary stuff for the future.
Well, it's because some of them are corporations. This is going to be a weird one because this answer will fully exceed what we normally cover on the carousel.
Well, you got 19 minutes.
Yeah, really. The fact of the matter is that you're dealing with corporations actually getting involved. You've got crime rings that are treating it even more like a business than they already did. I mean, the stereotype that the mafia is the only bunch that looks at it as a business has been long dead, long before we even really made that into a thing. And now the electronic world is just one more part of that machine, And you have quite a few crime rings that rely on it because it's quicker and cheaper to deploy. And let's face it, if you can shove a virus out there and it can reach all the way around the fucking globe when you're just one team of maybe 5 assholes in Central Europe, who's really, figure, return on effort, or investment, really. You try a little bit, you get a program, you're actually scaring the shit out of people, and they'll pay you in Bitcoin, which actually can be traced down. Don't believe that's actually an invulnerable fucking currency.
So how do you...
Yeah?
Here's my question. I mean, generally, the sort of rote answer you get from tech people when you bring something like this up is just stay the hell away from shitty websites and don't install stuff you don't understand.
Nope, that's not a good answer.
So
it's a basic answer, but that's actually the answer that easily exasperated tech nerds give the people they consider to be noobs.
Okay, so I wasn't done.
Sorry. Oh, shit,
So
there's
let's say a website doesn't know that they have a Trojan built into whatever, then they run a Java and it fucking just comes on. I run no script. So basically, everything's blacklisted unless I whitelist it. Is that going to be good enough to stop something like this from getting on?
Not necessarily, because a lot of them actually are still coming through emails. Phishing and other social engineering related attacks are still the means of getting this shit out there.
So that's still not download. It's still making sure you aren't doing something you don't understand, though. It's not like they can infect you without you ever opening the mail in Gmail or whatever.
Right. Someone actually tried to pull that shit on my folks the other day by faking themselves to be PayPal and saying their account was suspended and you have to go in and get this information and give this money. Or give this account information, rather. And the fact of the matter is that when we're talking about this, there are ways to slip past it because almost all your virus software, antivirus software, really runs on definitions and not a whole lot in behavioral signatures. The significance of that is that if they write new enough code, antivirus won't necessarily catch it, and you have to rely on antivirus to be running live, watching what your browser is doing.
Right, and who knows? They may only update those definitions once a week, once every month. I mean, that's on them. You don't know. So.
Exactly. That's actually why I decided I would just go ahead and go put a more aggressive and more paranoid antivirus software on my machine. Finally, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And because there are some, you can get installments of software that will actually antivirus track as you browse, but it will slow your machine down a bit because in order to try and do it real time, that's active CPU cycles that it would normally reserve for while you're asleep.
Right.
And so it can be dealt with, but saying don't go to bad websites is never a real answer because sometimes the things you need really are on dodgy, iffy websites. There's no guarantee that a legit website from simply a small company hasn't been hijacked. And they wouldn't necessarily know it. If someone does a good enough job and if they're mom and popping that fucking operation, they probably just hired their kid cousin who, spends more time on Reddit than he does looking over his fucking network. Boom. Shove it right on there. He might not know, and you're trying to just buy something legit from somebody that is normally legit. There you go. You got something shoved down via HTML. It's not going to happen often, but it's still a possibility. And I'm going to speak to it on the terms of it being a possibility rather than try to harp on how often it's happened, because it's not about when it has happened now, it's whether or not it can. Because when you get hit by that one random fucking event, potential means jack shit. So it fucking happened.
Let's say it did happen.
Okay.
If I make, and this is, I don't understand, I mean, I would bet that it's sort of different from virus to virus, but a lot of these are probably script kiddies, so who knows?
Most of them
let's say I do a monthly backup on my hard drive, and I sort of keep like an alternating two, so it's not like I only have 1 month of a backup. In theory, should I just be able to restore it prior to me fucking up and getting whatever?
Yes and no, because if you backed it up with a virus on it and didn't know because it didn't scan and check for it with updated definitions to go, oh, that fucking thing, then
right,
when you put it back on, the virus will be there and it will then possibly start tearing shit up next time you run it.
I'm saying, let's say I caught it in between.
Oh, okay.
It's not like it's going to... Do they have a capacity to sort of go so bad that you can't even reformat or roll back your OS?
If you're talking about a backup image that you're storing off machine, then not really. But if you're just dealing with, say like the way most modern store-bought computers don't give you a copy of Windows now, it's just a little image partition on there. I have seen viruses that will go and destroy that too. We've had shit like that for ages. Back in 2001. There was the Kriz virus, and it ran on a timer, and it was Kriz as in Kris Kringle, but they were kind of thinking they're clever with the spelling, so nobody caught on, but we caught on. But there was a variation of the Kriz virus all the way back then that would destroy files, and while it's destroying all the files on your hard drive, it would copy itself out to any other connected computer on the network and would try to email other people to bluff them into doing it. And if it could do it, it would attempt to flash the BIOS on your motherboard, making the motherboard completely useless. It didn't work all that often, but it still fucking worked on a few. And so again, when somebody goes, well, it doesn't happen that often, no, it doesn't matter if you're the one guy that it worked on.
See, and that's the thing. Something like that, there's no profit potential. It's just malice, and like that.
Absolutely.
I don't get that.
That's most of your viruses, historically speaking, until modern day.
Okay, real quick.
Yep.
You got about 2 minutes left on this topic, then we're moving on to our tweet.
Okay. A good example, and I'll make it real quick. Kevin Mitnick. Everybody wants to talk about what an awesome guy he was. He actually wasn't that good at hacking. He knew enough other guys that were, and he would pick their brains for information. He would kiss their ass. Social engineering. And he would learn the tricks he needed for the job he had to do then. Good example was the fact that he was a petty little shit was when his girlfriend dumped him, so he talked to a buddy who was a phone freaker, and the guy taught him how to get her phone turned into a payphone. It's just it was actually technically a little offensively simple to do, but you still had to you still generally speaking had to break into the switch office to do it. But her bedroom phone, every time she picked it up at the switch office, it would recognize that the receiver came up and it had been recoded to wait for a quarter. And it took him a minute. He had to, and it wasn't a simple thing to pull off if you look at it step for step for step. But his friend had already figured out how to do it, so he told him how to do it. That makes Mitnick a script kiddie. He just simply deployed what the other guy had figured out how to do. And this ransomware virus is actually sold in packages and kits. And depending on which one you buy, it might be a pretty simple thing where it just stores a hidden file where if you delete that file, virus gone. That was one of the earlier ones, like I think the second or third iteration of the ransomware virus. But there are others that will encrypt it. There's one that has a worm that if you try to decrypt it, even though it's a locally stored file, there's a virus living somewhere else that's watching, and if you fuck with that file and you don't have a key signature coming from the perpetrators, it will then attack you. The rest of your
Gross.
So, yeah, it's a thing. It can be dealt with, though. So I think it's a good wrap on that.
Okay.
Cool.
So we have some tweets from the Gibbinator. Any comics you're interested in coming out of Secret Wars or Convergence? Yes, I know Convergence finished months ago, but I didn't want to exclude DC fans.
I think the Rocket Raccoon love story.
I am sorry, I totally have not kept up. I'm mad Bendis is still writing Guardians, because he really sucks at writing the Guardians of the Galaxy. He excels at writing a lot of other things. I've been meaning to look to see what the X-Men team lineups are now out of Secret Wars, but I haven't gotten around to it. If Bendis is still doing X-Men, I'm probably interested in that book. Let me think. What else? They're still ignoring the Deathlocks they shouldn't ignore because they want people to pay attention to the TV show, so I'm not going to pay attention to that. What else did they do? I don't know. Marvel Comics has been pissing me off a lot lately, but I'm probably gonna get Unlimited here in a little bit. And have you guys kept up with any of that stuff? I don't
Nope.
think you even do comics, do you, Jake?
I do a rare. I'll pick up a trade paperback of Walking Dead or something like that. I think I have the first 6 hardcovers for that. You know, something like Marvel Zombies or Army of Darkness will catch my eye, but by and large, I don't really do comics. I tried getting into Nova. I still have it in my Comixology if I ever decide to get into it. But yeah, by and large, I do all the DC stuff, but I do like all the shows, movies, games kind of thing.
Yeah, and I haven't had remotely any chance to really try to keep up with any of it. At this point, I just rely on John and everybody else to fucking bring my ass up to speed. Hence my joke about the Rocket love story. So I don't really have anything I'm expecting out of it. Although that would be great if Rocket did have a love story, whole separate arc.
Well, Bendis appeared like he was going to do that because he introduced a female.
Holy
version
Christ!
of Rocket.
Really?
But she only appeared for a second in like a free issue, and I don't know if they brought her back because I quit reading Bendis' run because he sucks shit at writing Guardians of the Galaxy. Just not. Who knows? Maybe he figured it out, but he did not have it figured out when I was reading.
Huh. Okay.
Unfortunately, because I love that lineup of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I love their introduction and Annihilation Conquest, and I love DNA's run. You know, afterwards, it's just. He doesn't get them. But, and honestly, I've been in kind of finance lockdown mode, so I don't even hardly look at comics right now, just for fear that I might spend money on them. So, hopefully here, after I get a couple of things paid off, I'll get Marvel Unlimited and be able to at least start talking about some things that happened in the last year, but sorry.
The comics are unlimited. Money is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Boy, that's true.
Anyway, so with that, I believe that's our podcast. Where
Not
can I
bad.
find you gentlemen online?
I'm the other Jay-Z. That's J-Z-E-E on Twitter, and I always screw that up when I'm saying it out loud. Z-E-E, yes. You can find me over at the TVGP forums. We're kind of those of starting to liven back up. I do a game club with them every month, so I believe Boston said the most recent one is going to be out in the next couple of days here, so follow me on Twitter. You'll know it's there.
Right on. And I'm going to take this time again to just say I really do love that damn logo. It sounds dumb, but it's just like going, man, that's actually really well done. Anyway, me, basically, just about any place you can find the term Artisan002, it's most likely me. Even if I just use it as a placeholder so nobody else can, like, squat that title.
Okay.
So I'm on Twitter, I'm on Tumblr. Not on Facebook, though, because they said I don't exist. Fuckers.
You're one of the lucky ones, then.
Well, I was on there for a while, which means they still have, a good couple of years worth of data on me now. But yeah, a guy got mad because he lost an argument with me, reported my name because it was, Scoticus. And one day I logged in and went, "We don't think you're real." And so, yeah, it's no longer
Wah,
there.
wah. Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Technically it is, because you can't really be taken seriously in cybersecurity if you have a Facebook account. So it's just as well for me that it's gone.
Okay. Let's see. You can go to our main website to catch up on old episodes, thecarouselpodcast.com. You can send us emails for us to read and discuss at carouselpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter. I think we're just Carousel Podcast there. And let me think. Where can you find me besides that? You can find me on Picking Up the Pixels, and you can buy my music on musum.bandcamp.com or in iTunes, or you can listen to it in Spotify, although I will probably never get a check from Spotify because you have to have like 1 million listens to get like $100. But
Oh, God, really?
yeah. So
Well, write better songs, dude. Problem solved.
Oh, I'm helping him.
right, because the popular songs are entirely about the quality of the material.
You're making this
Totally,
harder than it
totally.
needs to be, dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah.
Miley's a fucking genius.
Anyway,
I can't believe I said that.
I will not thank you two gentlemen for joining me.
Dude, we're not
thank you
thanking
very
you
much.
either. You basically gave us a reason to go look up a dick chariot. No.
Well, I will see everyone next turn.
Right on.
Bye, guys.
We'll see y'all.